I am going to introduce you one important system call rather, which basically talks or which will help us to create this PID. Okay, that means I ultimately was trying to tell you like, okay, how can we create a process? See, when we execute any dot slash a dot out or any executable, okay, which could be an application, which could be a program. So while we try to execute it, automatically OS is taking care to create the process. Okay, automatically OS is taking care of to create the process, and when it creates the process, ultimately these values they would be getting affected. We saw in the previous session like how registers would be there and so on. Okay, so let me show you how exactly it works. Now, with assumption that some of you know or every one of you know rather C programming, correct? From the perspective of say Linux. Now, why I'm specifically saying Linux? It is because that I can definitely show you much more greater details on the Linux platform, which I may not be able to show you on Linux perspectively. Now, if I say a function call in C language, no matter whether you are working on Linux or whether you are working on, say, either of the operating system, how many values are written generally by a function?
Sir,
How many
1.
value? Sorry,
Sir, 1.
1. Now, on what basis we are saying that it is only 1? Is there any particular reason to say that it is only 1? So do we have anything? Anything to really justify this part? So what are the functions that we write? The syntax perspective, it is said like this, or it is written like this. So you write suppose int max, and then you write parameters int a, comma, int b. Correct. Now we don't know what the function body would be doing here inside the brackets. Correct. Inside the brackets, but ultimately we can say that whatever the operation that would be carried out, value returned would be of type integer. That's what the return type would be specified. And return also ultimately generally is used to specifically tell what would be the value and what would be the type used to send back the message. Like see, when I ask a question, Ankush, are you there? Suppose I executed this function call.
Yes, sir.
Now Ankush responded it, correct? So we saw that is a return value, and then I said, okay, now yes. Now suppose if I try to give call to Anushka, and suppose Anushka doesn't respond, I haven't received any return signal. So what I will do, I will again, no, okay, Anushka, are you there? So another function call got executed. Now suppose she doesn't respond at all. Okay, though she can, but suppose she doesn't respond at all. What exactly happened? There seems to be some problem at that function, that particular site. Correct. So now when I started, Anushka, are you there? So she knows how to respond. Correct. Suppose she says, I don't know what to respond. So function body is not known what exactly should be the return value. Correct. Then it would be difficult for the process to the function to return the value, with assumption that me, Nitin Patil, to be one process and Anushka to be another process, Ankush to be another process. Now, when I gave call to a function which is in a process called Ankush, I got a return reply. But when I was trying to get connected with Anushka, I could not get the message back. So it must be like what are the values that we were earlier talking about, what the values a process should contain. Like okay, so it is like this. Say for example. So when we said that a PCB would be created, at that perspective of timing, so these values would be there. So like if I talk about myself, or if I talk about Anushka, or if I talk about Ankush, we all are having these some values over here. Okay, particularly because while the session started, each one of us must have communicated a family that please don't disturb now, I have a class, correct? So we already communicated status. Okay, now we must have been having a notebook, a pen, or a laptop where we are noting down everything. And you purposefully are concentrating on whatever I am trying to tell. So you are maintaining the status of these values too. Now, even like while I'm pointing this to say program counter, your eyesight goes there. Suddenly, if I move to these other flags, so you will move your eyesight here. So this would be your program counter. Correct. And even you know that you have to see always towards this screen. Suppose you switch off your screen. What will you be able to see? Nothing. Correct. That means what? You know what is the address space I should execute. And there would be another parameters too. Correct. Now you must have done like what? So whenever the like you must have switched off, say the kind of call receiving modalities would be off while the call is while this particular meeting is going on. So you may have other parameters too, which will be communicated ultimately to the respective person or to the respective another procedure core. Suppose let me give you an example. Now suppose while I'm taking this session, okay, suppose I get a call from outside. So suddenly I'm going to communicate. Okay, please stop. So that process should understand that there is something going on. So that's why he is not responding back. But suppose still, even if I am talking like seeing on the screen and so on, even the person says, okay, may I come in? So this would be disturbing the execution. So I need to always keep a flag like when I enter in the office, everybody in the office knows that at 9 a.m. mostly Nitin Patil is having session. So he asked already do not disturb. Correct. So this kind of information through the flags definitely must be communicated to the system. Okay, some modalities definitely would be there, which would be applied at that point of time. Okay, now let us try to see like how exactly the process creation happens from the Linux perspective. So similar would be there with Windows 2. Okay, probably function name could be same. Correct, but we are not sure until and unless we write. So whatever I'm trying to show you, it would be only for demonstration purposes. And you say like to demonstrate that part, I'm making use of Linux operating system. Fine. So let us see like what kind of function do we use. So there is a function called fork. So right here man fork. So as this there is only one entry for this fork call. So it will not expect you to write man to fork. OK, now you will see here. This is the function called body. Sorry, this is the function called you can say prototype of its. So it is included in either of these with this PIDT is in types. OK, and in include unistd.h, you would be seeing this fork. OK, now what this fork does? Fork creates a new process by duplicating the calling process. Now what exactly that means? When a child is given birth, ultimately properties of parents do come automatically. Correct. Now if there is some problem, okay, genetic issue, say for example, you may see something like diluted kind of outcome, but it would not happen with this case. Okay, always whenever a fork call is given, it would be creating a new process by duplicating the calling process. So suppose if I give a call to a function like this, suppose this is the function body of my program. Okay, now when this function body gets executed, at that time, suppose in between here somewhere, if I give call to the fork, so suddenly I got another thing created. Okay, it might be like I had some other hand now, for example. But when I try to see this, ultimately control would be transferred to this now. Until earlier the call was here. When the call was given, it created this. So ultimately I should see both of them in memory, both of them in front of my eyes, for example, right now. They are visible to me. Now while it is executing this, so this would be the calling process would be a parent process. And the process which got created would be called as a child process. Now I need to always know as a parent process who is my child. So what happens is whenever parent gives a call to fork, a child process gets created, whole body would be copied here as it is. Now there would be fork, here would be fork. Okay, but here this fork would be returning PID of this child. process ID of this child, because this parent should know that this is a child created, and the fork call in this body of child would be returning 0. Correct. That means, okay, it got successfully executed. So now this is one particular function which returns two values. Okay, now you may see, like for example, if I try to read this, fork creates a new process by duplicating the calling process. The new process is referred to as the child process. Correct. That's what I told. The calling process is referred to as a parent process. So this was our calling process and this was the child created. So the right hand of mine, for example, would be working as a parent process and the left hand would be now a child process. Fine. Now this and this would be exact duplicate. Like both of them would be completely same. Child has its own unique ID, unique process ID. And this process ID does not match the ID of any existing process. So like if I try to say, for example, show you different process IDs. Okay, I'm purposefully taking less. So if I concentrate on this first column, do you see any duplicate there? Check it. See, he started with 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, 10, and so on. So you will never see a duplicate there. PID would be always different. Correct. Now, if I see this, for example, system D 1. So this is a parent and these all are childrens of it, like which are in this level. Like if I whatever the like if you see them in terms of say the column wise perspective, if there is a line here and one line is with S and one line is with this S. So all of these would be childrens of at first level for system D. Okay. Now this would be grandchildren because it is children of it is child of this particular process. Correct. Now you may see here. So if I go above and if I try to see what are the contents, PID and parent group ID. Okay, so if you see details of that PS command, you definitely would be getting that information. So if I go below, it would be telling me which is my parent group ID. Okay, I may not directly get that part here. So let us go back to man. So if I have to verify, okay, what is the ID? So I can get this set PGID. That's what process group. Okay, existing process group or the session. The child's parent process ID is the same as parent process ID. Okay, this would be understood. Like if you recall in graph theory, you must have understood terminology called graph, correct? Or a tree for a while. In tree, there is a parent and there would be children's. Children's know who is their parent. And parent know who are its children. So that's why like the child's parent process ID is same as the parent process ID. The child does not inherit. Now this would be somewhat difficult. Now when I say this was my parent process, now to let you know what exactly the things are, and this is my child process. Now my parent process gave a call to fork. So like this is under execution. Now these two processes would be working across. Correct. So this one also is executing. This one is also executing. Now it is executing in its context. This is executing in its context because memory addresses are different. Process address space is different. Only the code inside them would be same. Now when we say this, ultimately what is happening there? So to introduce that part, let me show you one code, which I'm going to discuss in detail later. Right now, only try to understand, like only, not understand, but only try to see what is happening. Okay, don't see the contents of code. Only I want you to see like what is happening there, and I will purposefully show you the scenarios too. So let me create another terminal too. Okay, now let me create an executable. Now let me execute this. Now I can see that there are two things listed. So ps-ejh pipe less. Okay, now you can see like it is waiting for one of the ch like scanf that I added here, correct? At this place. Now if I go here and press enter, sorry, I haven't given capital H. Try to see a dot out. So it would be below. Yeah. Can you see this? Correct. Now see the statement output shown here. We are inside the code from process with ID 6767. 6767. And you will see that same printf was executed with 67682. And it is having same value. Now when I press and enter one character, it says it control seems to be back to the parent earning, correct? So it is executing from 6767. This got increased. Correct. Now if I see and go back here again, and if I try to execute this, let us see a dot out. Correct. It is same still 6767 and 6768. So if I go back, press enter. Now it is executing parent's code that we can verify from this PID. Correct. How I said that this would be parent's ID 6767. I can see this tree. Okay, and in bash I have a dot out. And this is the PID of that a dot out. So 6767, and considering the tree factor, bash child is a dot out and a dot out's child is a dot out in this case. Correct. Then like if I go back, now value is increasing here in parent. Now I got increase in child. Can you see that? On what basis I'm saying this? Because I can see that it is having now PID as 6768. So 6768 is PID of this child. Correct? Are you there?
Sir, is there any significance of the
Yes.
value increase?
Sorry, can you please repeat?
The value increases. Is there any significance of that? The value is.
Yeah. So what we did was we have written one function process like code which increases that value I. So only to show you like it is like here whatever the thing that I said in that. Okay, let me go to another and let me write this man fork. So when we said na, like the memory context are different here, like when we haven't said that, but it is saying this. Child does not inherit its parent memory. Okay. Now locks would be, I will not talk about it. Now think of this value of I. Okay. We're using that variable. So let me show you that code probably. Process tree.c. If you see what I did was I am printing this value of I2 here. We are inside the code from process with ID %d and value %d, correct? /n, and I'm printing this I inside the for. Now see, we both, me and my child, suppose we are working together. Okay. Now when I created this, so suppose we are playing a game. Okay. Now if it is on a sharing basis, like for example, if I pass on control, suppose Allah, are you there? I am giving you control. Okay.
Yes, sir.
1 minute. I am giving you control. Can you try to move the mouse pointer? I am giving you control. Now see, can you move the mouse pointer there?
Yeah, I'm moving it. Hello? Yeah,
So,
I am moving it.
Yeah. So if I try to see, like it seems I have given him a call, correct? But with respect to the control, with respect to the control given, control of what is given. So I will not, my machine will not permit him interacting directly with this rather. Correct. I cannot do that because when it would be possible for me to give this access completely if I'm sharing this desktop with him. I am only sharing the screen. Control would be like he presses like if my PowerPoint is, for example, let me do this. Let me give sorry, let me say slide show from current slide. Okay, and give control to oh, so Allah is already okay. Now I got another list. Chinmay. Okay, so I cannot see Allah here. Okay, let me see if I can find out Allah. No, Chinmay, are you there? So I am given control. Now you can see that like some mouse movement is there. Correct? Correct? Can you see that? Now, what exactly happened here? He would be permitted to see the contents, but if you okay, Chinmay, try to press a click. Click. Yeah. Now you can see that he's controlling my machine. So that means what? I have given access of my machine. So when I say my machine, I don't mean exactly the machine. I mean only by this slide. Okay. So if I try to go up, now I am using this, correct? So I can control this. Now suppose Chinmay in parallel do this. Okay, Chinmay, you press next. I will press previous. Now see, I am trying to move my mouse pointer, but it is not permitting me because Chinmay is in action. Correct? So when Chinmay is in action, like I may not be able to do this, but if I go back now, see Chinmay is not in action, I can control this now. So only one context. So that's what, like for example, let me go back to my Linux machine. Okay, now Chinmay would not be able to access this screen. Can you access Chinmay now? Probably
No,
not.
sir.
He would not be given because I am working with my code. So when we set this man fork, it is given a control. Like until unless it is permitted, control would not be directly given. This would be managed by this particular call. Okay, so let us go further. So this is really very big help, rather when I say manual of this. Okay, fork system call. So let me take this to a file. Okay, yeah, let us take gedit. Yeah, so return values. Let us see this. On success, the PID of child process is returned in the parent. And 0 is written in the child process. That's what I said. Now suppose due to some reasons, if parent cannot create the child. Okay, due to constraint, like there is no space in memory. Parent is trying to create the process. Okay, by using fork call. So what happens is if it is not having space available so that the process can be loaded in memory, in such a case, this -1 would be written. Otherwise, always child process would be having child process PID would be given to parent process. Okay, and there are set of different functions ultimately available which would be permitting the user to make use of this fork aspect. Now, definitely question would be there. How many processes can we create? It depends. It depends on your architecture. It depends on how much memory you have. So though virtual memory would not be used for these purposes. In main memory, processes would be created. So whatever I see over here, this whatever I see here with process.ps.egh, these are loaded in memory. Correct? With in multiple forms of them. So if I see now, okay, still the same. So let me go back to my another terminal and let us execute that code again. So I am pressing control. Like you can see 67, 68, 67, 68, 67, 68. It is increasing the value until that reaches to the particular value. You can see control is passing to 67, sometimes 68. Now who decided this? You can see that 68, 67, 67. So 6, then 68, then 68, then 67 again, 68, 68, 67, 68, 68, 67. Who decided this? To whom the chance be given? And that's why you must have, you may remember, like in one of the slide, we said there would be scheduling done by the process manager. Who should be given the chance to talk? Now suppose two people from your batch, Tanmay and say Allad, starts talking together. Okay, Allad and Tanmay, please start talking by unmuting yourself. Don't worry about what you are talking. Huh? Go on. Tanmay, start. You say something.
Hi, Alan.
Hi.
Yeah, you go on. You say Pledge of India. Don't worry. Both of you. Or sing a song. We don't care. Whatever it is. Or you read whatever is shown in front of the screen.
Okay. So,
Tanmay, you also do the same thing. Huh?
okay,
Allad?
let's start.
At a time.
Yes.
At a time.
Yeah, let's start from the first line. We are inside the code from process with ID 6768, value equal to 4.
Tanmay, you also do the same. Huh? Allad and Tanmay together.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Speak loudly so that we can hear you.
Yeah.
Inside the simultaneously.
Don't worry about who is speaking. Huh? Go on, because we may not be able to understand, but we exactly know that you are reading this. Correct? All of us, remaining ones. Yeah.
Right, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So let's start from the first line. Okay. Okay. Start. We are inside
the code
code
from
from process with ID 6768, value
6768 value is
equal
equal
to
to 4.
Okay.
We are
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Now you must have seen what happened was, like we could hear something from Tanmay, something from Allad. Sometimes some things are sent in parallel because this was a management done from this team software. Now, if it happens in the class, what could I have done? Me as a teacher, as a scheduler, could have said what? One at a time, please. Correct? But when I don't have any control, like okay, this is a class, correct? Now think of this. This is your batchmate. You are deciding something. Okay, let us take off tomorrow. Okay, now if it is like let us not have any class tomorrow. Say for example this. So you all have to decide. Like you have to tell that okay to Nitin Patel that don't take any class. So you would be having a batchmate, correct, to decide this part, either through chat or through this. Now what happens is the people who are joining late, they may not know any scope of execution. What will happen ultimately? To whom should be the chance given? Now you must have seen in the class, few people are there who always take leadership or they have leadership qualities. That's why they start. Now when we do talk about them, so sometimes we give priorities to the peoples. Okay. Now Mohammad may say why Patil sir is asking always to Allad and Tanmay. Why not me? Right? It's only because I can see their names in front. Now suppose they don't speak, they are not joining here, and now I see suppose some other names. Are we giving call to them? So this is the decision taken at that runtime. Who should be given the chance? Now when we say this, ultimately that's what we can see here. See the way that it is executing. Is there any consistency? There is no consistency. One time we do see same values are there for both. And sometimes we do see different values with both of them. Okay, 66 and 67 at that time instance. Then suddenly it got 17. So 68 first is given probably chance. That's what we can see here. Some in between suddenly we saw 67 was given the chance. Correct? So this is designated work of the scheduler who would be helping processes to be picked from this kind of tree, this kind of process tree. Correct. Now it would be having information about all these processes in this table, but to whom the chance be given for execution. So whenever it says, okay, process 1, please go on. So it goes here, checks values of process control block and gives the chance. Now think of this. Let me go to another slide. Now when I said Allah, please start. So what he did? So he unmuted. So he was given a control. That's why a process ID was created. So let us say I created a child and code was Allah's code. And then his PCB was created. So suddenly you must have seen he took a pause. Then he started again reading the same thing and so on. So it is in his context what he is doing. And suddenly other process also started. Correct. Now when he started, he thought, okay, whether it is to be done in parallel or one by one. So he was a bit worrying about, okay, whether should I start or whether should I start after Allah finishes. Right, so he stopped for a while. He was ready to execute, but he was not able to. So they all, like both of the processes were in a particular state. And this is what we have a process state diagram. So you start from here. So I said, okay, Allah, please start. Okay, then Sahu, please start. So when I said this, ultimately, then like one of them started. And then application I actually took it inside. Other one also started. But if it is like if it is like, for example, what you call it as, you must have heard as simplex, half duplex and duplex communication. Okay, walkie-talkie. How can you speak? If it is a walkie-talkie, how you speak generally? One person speaks, other person listens, and when other like when first person's communication is done, second person starts. What would be other way around? What would be other way around? Like if both of them are starting together, the data may collide together. How exactly that should be done? That needs to be managed internally. So some process may be given. Okay, please wait. Let me hear from the first person. So when I say any problem, I executed the process. All children got created. So suppose in our meeting we have around 52 people, excluding me. When I said any question, so all 52 processes got created. I created the children's. Now whoever is asking a question actually executed his code. So I executed fork, all children process got created. Now when somebody starts speaking, say for example, if I go here, now okay, let us give chance to Jisa. Jisa, can you speak something? You can tell your name.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now you see that in this on the screen. Suddenly, when Jisa started, ultimately her photo, though she doesn't have DP added there, display picture, but I can see that it got activated. Right? So until she started speaking, it was in suspended mode. All remaining are like, okay, I might be given chance. Everybody might be waiting. Chetan also is waiting. Okay, when Nitin Patil will be asking me to speak. Okay, or Sakshi even might be waiting. When I would be getting chance. So when your chance is given, ultimately activation is done. Correct? Jisa, you can mute yourself. Not a problem. Okay, so this is how the management would be done. Now they could be in either of the process state. So in general, when we do talk about operating systems process state, let me if I go this way, say for example, like if I talk about this, only 5 states are seen. Which are they? New, ready, blocked, running, and exit. These are considered to be like added ones. So if you pick any standard book, these would be the 5 process states that could be possibly seen. Now diagram might vary from program like from operating system to operating system. So let me show you this process state diagram Galvin. Now something would be look like this. Okay, don't go with the spelling. We don't care what is written by them. New, ready, running, waiting, terminated. So if I move to another image, okay, this would be the case, correct? So if I move further, now suddenly I do see something different. So this would be for Linux, correct? If I see how it is represented, they are represented differently. Okay, the diagram, the graph would be shown differently. but the kind of work happening at that side, like if you put this as a Google query, only simply this process state diagram, correct? So it assumes like if I go here, it would be something different. Like this is what we saw in our presentation. Now if I go to here, I do see another representation probably, correct? The way it is represented. Even if I go here, this would be another representation. So they may have interpretations on their own with respect to whatever they wanted to show or whatever they wanted to communicate. So like if I talk about a standard process would be these 5 assumed to be with respect to say operating system literature. But then what happened was, say I wrote a book. So I thought, okay, I know much more than others. So I added this ready suspend. Somebody added block suspend. And what are the diagram that you see? Now, even if I see this one, okay, names are same. Like I picked this from other thing, other book rather. Now, like when I see this and when I see this, what would be the differentiation? Here it is telling what happens when I say new admit. So it goes to either ready suspend or ready. Okay, now when I say, suppose I start showing you this screen and so I say, okay, Pradnya, are you there? So I started speaking and then suddenly I will ask Pradnya. So when I give a call to that function, should be ready. So until that time, when I said Pradnya, now think of this, her ears are definitely in listening mode with assumption. Okay, let us assume this. She is listening something, whatever I am speaking. Correct. So like she would be either in this one or this one. So when I say Pradnya, can you unmute yourself? Okay, do this. Okay, now she
Yes, sir.
unmuted. Suppose she doesn't speak. But I can see that she unmuted herself. That means what, she is ready to execute. But right now, as I am speaking, she is in suspended mode. So when I say Pradnya, can you please start speaking? Now when she starts speaking, ultimately try to see what happens. Pradnya, go on. You can tell your name.
I am Pradnya.
Okay, now see that. What happened was she changed her state to this ready. Okay, and suddenly when she started speaking, like she unmuted herself and then she started speaking, then she is in this stage. Now suddenly if I ask her, get out. Okay, example, Pradnya, don't get out. So when I say get out, ultimately she comes to know that, okay, I am asked to exit from the memory. Then she goes out. Otherwise, Pradnya, I will ask you next question later. Or purposefully, what I will be doing, I will be muting her from here. Suppose I say disable her mic. So she if I fire this command, ultimately from my machine, I blocked her for a while. Correct. So these changes possibly could be happening from either of the side. So when I go to my code rather, okay, we are executing this code, correct? This is in memory. So if I try to see from the other terminal, what is the state of this a.out, both of the a.out? So let us check it. ps-s ej capital. Let us see if we can see this. Okay, it is not permitting us to do so. So we know that 6767 and 6768. These are our processes. So we'll concentrate on them only. Now you can see that these are your processes, correct? So are they responding to us? Now see, we are having current control here. That's why this is R, because we executed this from this terminal. Correct? This ps-s, we executed it here from this terminal. That's why it is R, means running. Rest of them in like what is happening with these two processes? They are waiting for my input until and unless I press enter. Okay, now if I see and go back here, still they entered into same state. So they are not in running. I cannot see them running in running mode because what happened was I need to shift from here and there. So I need to think of some say like this could be an task for you. Probably you can think of this. Can I create a UI GUI rather, which will show me this kind of picture. Okay, so let me try Process Explorer. Okay, I'm trying to download an application on Windows. Suppose until and unless it gets downloaded. So I'm sorry. It seems. So I'm downloading that utility on Windows, on my Windows machine, to show you some graphical representation. Wait for a while. Yeah. Now can you see this? So this is a program that I downloaded, which is a UI, GUI rather. So I may not be able to increase font size. Probably, let me see if I can. Zoom in, zoom out. That probably might not be there, but I can see that this kind of tree. So SVC host, it has these all things. So when I suppose execute Excel from here. Okay, suppose Excel, I'm executing this app. Correct. Now when I executed this, can you see Excel there somewhere? Okay, it is very small. Okay, let me tell you how I downloaded it. So you download Process Explorer Windows. Okay, let me add that link for you peoples. Sorry. Okay, those having Windows machines can try this. So can I write a code or can I write a program? This can be a project for you peoples. Okay, without worrying about in which course you are. Can you show me this graphically? What are the process tree that we saw at that other side? Okay, on Linux. Can I see that process tree in some form? Like here, I can see that process tree here, correct? So this is services. So these are my processes running. Correct. So when I click on services, I can see that there is SVC host. These all are at one level. Okay, SVC host, SVC host, SVC host. All of them are running here. Okay, so when I like if I go next, I can see these processes are running there. Okay, and it definitely is having a PID over here. So can you create this kind of GUI for me? Think of this as an maybe a program. Now only you have to implement a GUI for PS command. Whether it is there, probably maybe. We don't care about this, whether it is there or not. But yes, ultimately, if I can write such a code, which would be helping me out rather to understand or to get idea of this process snapshot. How can I generate the process tree? How can I show the process tree? User might be knowing his own commands rather. Okay, in respect of how to display the process tree. But how can I definitely get that kind of tree over here? Okay, so this may be a kind of task for you because this whole thing would be picked from your process control block. Let me tell you. Okay, now recall I gave you an assignment of header. Can you recall that? Have you heard about file command? Yes or no? You can let me know. Okay, let me show you from here what I exactly mean by. Suppose if I write here file a.out, it tells me that it is a file of type ELF. So yeah, so I have this image here. Like if I write file 1200 this, so it tells me that it is a JPEG image. So from where it picked this, even you may see in Windows Explorer. Okay, when you try to see contents of the directory, it tells you what kind of type is correct. How? Let me show you. So this is my Windows thing. So it tells me like, okay, what is the type of this file? So this is a text, this is an application, this is a component HTML. So if I go to say downloads, I can see that part as well. Now, if I say this is my MP4 file, and if I want to see other properties of it, okay, details, these are the details. Okay, now where exactly this information is stored? This is stored in the header, file header, which keeps this information about each and every this minute detail, smaller details, all things are kept here. Okay, along with the path, size, who was the owner, and so on. Correct? It tells you, look, who is the owner, like on what machine it is available, which user had copied this file, on what date it was created, and so on. So this would be kept with file. So there is a header, like what we talked about PCB for a process. Process should also know who executed it. Correct? So the way that we have this information will be stored in something called as file allocation table. With every file, there would be a header which would be containing these details. Similarly, we had a PCB where information about process is kept. Correct. Now, what I will do is like in next session, I don't know how many of you have laptops or desktops with you with Linux installed. I will try writing code in front of you, and we will try to create processes, and we will try to see, okay, what exactly happens there. So our task would be to generate our own process tree. Whatever the way that you draw the diagram. Okay, I would be giving you an assignment based on the fork system call on Monday. Okay, so those having laptops can work with it, or otherwise I will try to like create that scenario on say Moodle. Okay, with the introduction to how to make use of it. Okay, the virtual laboratory that is added there. Fine. Okay, so any question?